What's going on, world? This is Ricky Runnit. Welcome to Retro Roundtable TV. Well, if you already checked us out and watched our video that we posted yesterday, welcome back to Retro Roundtable TV, where we take a little blast of the past back to the 90s. We love all things retro. My boy, my co-host, Ace Master J, he's not on this video right here. This is something I kind of took a shot in the dark with. It's going to be a new segment called Musical Mondays, where I sit back and we take a little detour and kind of journey through albums that may have been forgotten or may have been not talked about too much, but got a lot of buzz back in its time. Not necessarily just the 90s, but, 80s albums that people might enjoy, even all the way back to the 70s and 60s. But, excuse me for looking a little rough. You wouldn't believe how hard it is to find like a barber out in California who doesn't charge under $100. So I'm looking a little scruffy right now.
Oh my God, will you just get on with it?
Wait, who are you supposed to be?
Bro, who you think I am? I'm you.
Okay, but why are you in this video?
Well, isn't it obvious?
Obviously,
I'm here because people just want to get through with this review. This is Michael Jackson's 8th solo studio album, Dangerous. If this bozo would just hurry up and do it, y'all would know that.
Okay,
but
okay. Oh, nice shirt, by the way. Real manly. Look at all them flowers right there.
I know you ain't talking. Look at your shirt, bro. Man, it look like you a Foot Locker employee still in training that ain't earned all the stripes yet. Anyway, so what we're doing, we're just taking a little trip back to 1991 where Michael released his 8th studio album.
Okay, can I just get started
with
with
one of
this
my
video?
personal favorites. I don't know about this bozo right here, but
I appreciate you. Wait, what's your name? Okay, nice to meet you, Glenn. I'm Ricky.
Glenn.
All right, get on out of here.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so before I was rudely interrupted, so this particular Musical Monday review is going to be off the 1991 smash hit Michael Jackson, Dangerous. Now, of course, Michael Jackson really doesn't need no introduction. This is MJ we're talking about. So just to give you a little overview on what led up to that critical point in his musical career. So Michael Jackson was a part of the Jackson 5, and they were a big, huge success back in the 1960s or whenever that era was. And then he launched his solo career because he was like the most talented out of the group. It was like 29 of them jokers, but he kind of stood out amongst the others. So he ended up making a solo career like in the mid 70s. But I don't think his solo career really took off until the release of his album Off the Wall, when he linked up with Quincy Jones, because Quincy is still arguably one of the most innovative producers in the whole music industry, even with today's standards. So, he went on to release Off the Wall, then it got good reception or whatever, so he ended up doing Thriller, and everybody knows Thriller broke records, dude. Thriller was I think one of the most top-selling albums of all time, that and Eminem's Marshall Mathers LP, but I'm not talking about that right now. So let's skip to 1991, November 26th, when he released Dangerous. Now, Dangerous, personally, was one of my favorite MJ albums, if not my top favorite. I'm kind of scatterbrained right now, so I can't even remember if it's really my favorite one, because Michael Jackson has such a dope, untouchable catalog. Like, y'all don't understand. This man was and still is my favorite singer. I used to grow up, I knew all the choreography, which is crazy because I can't dance now. I have no rhythm. I have the rhythm of a 2-year-old white toddler. But growing up, I had the little good. I remember I was Michael Jackson one year for Halloween. I was like 10 years old. My mom got me the little top hat, the T-Pain top hat, and the Michael Jackson glitter glove with she even put lipstick on. Pause, before I say that. Yeah, I had lipstick on, but that's because Mike was known to rock lipstick. That ain't fruity. That is not fruity. And I was a kid, so shut up. It don't matter. Anyway, back to the album. So I'm not going to do a whole track-by-track review of everything because this is kind of like raw material, so I want to be straight up with you. I enjoyed the album so much, but there are some, I don't want to say skippable songs, but there are songs where I'm like, yeah, it's all good, but it's other ones that kind of deserve my time. Because nowadays, time is really crunched, especially when us as adults have so much to do. We got rent, we got all this other stuff. So just sitting back and being able to listen to Michael is a treat in itself, but you got to pick and choose the right songs. So let's start off with Jam, which I still believe to this day kind of inspired Space Jam, because Michael Jordan wasn't Space Jam. He was a star, obviously. And the music video actually featured Michael Jordan in it. You know, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, one's like one of the greatest ball players of all time. The other one's the king of pop, one of the best entertainers of all time, hands down. Oh yeah, Heavy D's in the video too. Rest in peace to him. Sorry, I didn't mean to say his name like that. Heavy D. The Heavy D was in the video. And he did his thing. He was holding down for the big boys at the time. But yeah, the song Jam was one of the, it did exactly what the title insinuated. It made you want to jam. It just made you want to get up and all, you know, all that stuff that he would be doing. So Jam was pretty much just saying, go with it, jam, it ain't too much. So basically when he was saying it ain't too much for me, what I got from that was, with all the controversy sparking around that time, when his career was really taking off, you know, every artist faces a lot of controversy and backlash. And of course, with Michael having the skin condition vitiligo, black people don't be pronouncing anything right, but vitiligo. So there were patches that appeared on the skin that made his pigmentation appear lighter than what he actually was. So I guess in the long run, he was like, I'm already looking white. I might as well go ahead and bleach my skin white. And by surprise, even after the major success of Thriller, when he bleached his skin white, that's when he really started popping off to like all audiences. Like Thriller was like a nationwide success. But once he dropped Bad, that was like, oh, I didn't even mention Bad, but Bad was the album that dropped in like 87, 88. But that's when his skin was like fully light. He was like fully light skinned and he just took off globally. I guess like people in Britain were like, oh yes, he has white skin. He must not be bad like these other jigaboos. So I'm going to give him a listen. So basically, you know, he kind of adapted more of a diverse audience, or a fan base, I should say. So Jam was one of those songs basically talking about he's beating out the controversy. Then we got Why You Wanna Trip on Me. It's pretty much iterating the same concept, saying that like, I'm just a nice guy. I'm just a genuine guy trying to make a decent living, making my music, trying to support my fans and make everybody happy. So why you want to trip on me? And that was kind of like a groove right there. And most of the album was produced by Michael himself with like a little bit of help from Teddy Riley. Teddy Riley did help with some of the production with a chunk of the album. In the Closet, pause, because that's kind of weird, a weird song title. If he would have re-released it today, people would have been kind of like raising eyebrows. Like, what is he talking about in the closet? Is he trying to tell us something subliminally? But In the Closet, undeniably one of my favorite MJ songs ever. Like, just the passion of the song itself, and just, I was too young to even understand what it was at the time when it was released. Even by the time I was old enough to like kind of receive it a little more, it was still too much for the immature mind. You don't realize how much of a sensual, sexual, and sexy song this is until you hit at least about 16, 17. So In the Closet, the video was amazing. The video had like this whole aesthetic where it was like he was in Rome or Egypt. I don't know where he was, but he was somewhere in a desert with like a model, Naomi Campbell, as a matter of fact. It was Naomi Campbell in the video, but the actual vocals with the female vocalist, I think it was Princess Stephanie of Monaco or something. I can't even remember. I gotta probably Google it. But that song was like tops for me. That I still get up and dance to that song, knowing I ain't got no rhythm, but the way my man's was like swagging in the video, you can't tell me dude wasn't on top of his game. He probably had all the ladies want to throw their bras on stage. It was probably grown men throwing their boxers on stage. I don't even know, whatever he was into, but that man had it going on, man. Then She Drives Me Wild. That was one of the songs I wouldn't say is really like repeat button worthy, but it is like it has a smooth melodic beat to it. Something that real music listeners can appreciate. If like, it's not really something you want to drive around in the car to, but it's something like if you have your earphones on, you kicking back, laying in bed, just relaxing, getting in a nice state of mind, maybe unwinding from a long day of work, and you're thinking about your loved one, you might want to put that one on. Then Remember the Time. Of course, everybody knows that because of the cameo from Eddie Murphy back when the video was released and all the Egyptian backup dancers and like when he span and disintegrated in the sand, the dust, or whatever that was supposed to be. Dude had it going on back in the 90s. This man was a cultural icon.
Anyway, Can't Let It Go. Can't Let It Get Away. I'm sorry. Can't Let It Get Away was another like ballad. Was another like ballad for the ladies, I guess. It was something real smooth and a little more. It kind of like set the tone in a different direction from where I think he wanted to push the album. I think for this album, it was kind of like a sequel to Bad, if you will, because Bad, he wanted to put on this bad boy image, and I think Dangerous kind of pushed it a little bit further. But Can't Let It Go is one of those, or Can't Let It Get Away, I don't know why I keep calling it that. That's one of those songs where you can listen to it a few times and just get the feel off of it. And again, you're with your lover or you're thinking about your lover. It's one of those ballads pretty much. Heal the World is the whole album itself takes a little turn from this rough, aggressive, smooth, sexy, sensual feel. Then it gets these, Heal the World vibes. You get these Make Humanity Great type vibes. So Heal the World is basically like the equivalent of Man in the Mirror in his Bad era. So it was pretty much like a number 2 to Man in the Mirror, which I really appreciate. I like that. It had a nice message behind it, but again, it's not something I really cruise to because it kind of tends to get you in your feelings. Then Black and White kind of like pumps it back up again. And I remember the video because the video was so long, but it had cameos from John Goodman, who played the father in Roseanne. It also had Macaulay Culkin, who played in Home Alone. And he played the loud and obnoxious kid that wants to bump Michael in the room. And, the parental figure, John Goodman, he doesn't approve of this new boom bop, hip hop, dance, pop stuff that these kids are listening to these days. So he marches upstairs in the video, tells Macaulay Culkin, turn that record down. And Macaulay Culkin, Dad, this is the best part. And then John Goodman, turn it off now. And this is the cringiest part of the whole video. I even thought it was corny when I was little. When John Goodman steps out the room and leaves Macaulay Culkin alone, John Goodman slams the door, Macaulay Culkin puts the tape back in saying, eat this, and then presses play, and then the music starts for Black and White. But Black and White is a song was totally dope. Another one of my favorites. It's like one of those ones you could actually just bounce around in the kitchen to. Then Who Is It? Okay, this is actually my number 1 favorite song on the whole entire album. It's something about the vibe and the mystique of this song. It's like the aesthetic of it. Even without seeing the video, it paints like a vivid picture in your mind, so you pretty much know, you can see what's going on in Michael's head and what's going on in his mind. But the video, once you see the video, it makes so much more sense, and you'll be like, that's exactly how I pictured this video to be. So Who Is It? The production on this song is just amazing. The vocals, the background vocals on the chorus. And it doesn't seem to matter, and it doesn't seem right. I'm just feeling some function, so I cry alone at night. Don't you judge my composure. Man, that dude was getting it, man. You gotta hear the background vocals for yourself. My voice ain't really all that, but Give In to Me had like a little rock influence. That was one of the songs that like, you can't forget that one because it was one of the only songs on that album with that hard rock influence. But it didn't overpower Michael's smooth pop presence. It pretty much just like fused the genres, pretty much, if you will. But the pop still overshadowed the rock a little bit. But he had Slash play guitar towards the end. Slash from Guns N' Roses. So that was a pretty decent touch to it. Then you have Will You Be There? This is the second favorite from my album. It was part of the Free Willy soundtrack, Free Willy or Free Willy 2. Can't remember which one. Shout out to Steven Spielberg. But at the time, the movie was on the height of its success. And I guess it was a smart business move for both Michael and Quincy to put it on the Free Willy soundtrack for, more for the kids, and also put it on the Dangerous album, aimed more towards like the teens and adults and everything that already previously listened to Michael's music. So that one, the choir in the background just did it for me. That was like the best thing he could have done for this album. Like, it was so touching. I still tear up every time I hear that song. I ain't soft though, I promise. Not like old Flower Shirt Boy. But it was just like amazing. Like, this whole album, I can't forget Keep the Faith. So Keep the Faith is another one that was sort of like Heal the World, except it wasn't like social, it wasn't too social political. It was more just like more for like you as an individual, as a whole. Just keep the faith when things aren't going your way. Like we still go through those times to this day. And this song still holds like a deep message. So I appreciate that song for what it is. Then Gone Too Soon, another really sad song that kind of like hits your heartstrings a little bit. But you know, Gone Too Soon, you can guess what the song's about just by like hearing the title. And then Dangerous. Now this is the kicker. Dangerous, the name of the song and the title of the album. So we have to go out with a bang here. Dangerous was like, so it was more like spoken word through some of it. It was like a funky beat, like a smooth, sexy beat with like a little spoken word by Michael himself speaking with his soft but deep voice. It puts you in the mind of one of those 1990s Calvin Klein commercials for cologne when he's like, "You're mysterious, you're sexy, you are Calvin Klein." It was sort of like that. If you listen to the song, you'll get what I'm talking about. But overall, I give this whole album a 9 out of 10. It's hard to really pull things like this off, but when you're the king of the pop, you can pretty much do anything. And Michael really proved his point by not only dropping gems with this one, but there's some albums after that where he continues to put that same passion into his lyricism, into his vocalization, into the production. And I think this is the first album where he actually produced a majority of it himself. So that makes this a standout album. So yeah, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I appreciate y'all for watching Retro Roundtable TV. This is Musical Mondays. Ricky Runnit signing out.